Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
She goes, oh, well, I started a little business babysitting. And I'm like, you can't do that. I'm a neighborhood trustee. And when I told her, she basically just said, forget you.
The whole purpose behind law is to right wrong. I want justice to be something that isn't this foreign concept.
Justice knows no boundaries. The truth will be heard. Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Diane Cooper is suing her neighbor Kelly Jones in the amount of $6,000. She says the defendant forced her to shut down the daycare center she operated out of her apartment. Ms. Jones claims the plaintiff had no legal right to operate a business out of her home.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties have been sworn, Your Honor.
All right, good Deputy Thomas. Ms. Cooper.
Yes.
We have a lawsuit going on here over some daycare issues.
Yes, Your Honor.
To the tune of $6,000.
Yes, I had, I'm originally an elementary school teacher, first grade, and a couple of the members of my community, my immediate neighbors, needed help just over the summer.
Did you stop teaching?
There was a car accident and I had to take some time off, but it was summer vacation.
So you were still working as a full-time teacher, but you were off during the summer?
Yes and no. I had taken some time on disability.
Is this because of the accident?
Yes, sir.
All right. What happened to you in the accident?
It was I had some recuperation to do, a couple of broken bones, and
Oh, it was pretty serious.
my husband was killed in the accident. So
You, just the two of you in the car?
yes,
And he died?
yes, sir.
Oh, that's tough. How long has it been?
Just a little over a year.
That's tough. I'm sorry to hear that. And so not only were you having to recover physically, but how long the two of you had been married?
10 years.
Do you have any children?
2 girls, twins.
What was the relationship with Miss Jones?
We're neighbors, but I have had her older son in my class, and she has a younger boy that's very charming as well.
Okay.
We just crossed paths going out for a walk one afternoon, and she mentioned that her mom was ill. Her mom had been taking care of her boys during the summer.
Because you were working full-time, I take it?
Yes, sir.
And are you married?
Yes, sir.
Both you and your husband work?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're real estate agents.
And I take it that during the course of the typical day, you needed someone to watch the kids during the summer months.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Okay. So explain to me what made you decide that you would have the plaintiff watch your children.
Well, I was out on a walk with my boys, and
Yes.
I ran into the plaintiff, and we were just chatting, and I told her that, typically my mom watches my boys for me over the summer.
And you already knew Miss Cooper because your boy was in her classroom.
Exactly.
So
yes.
there was a comfort there, right?
Yes, sir.
I get it.
Yeah.
And so it was like, how about we help each other sort of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what was the agreement?
She would watch both my boys $300 each over the summertime. So,
I
so
thought
it'd
you
be
were going to say a week. I was like, wow,
No,
that's...
it was a week.
It was a week?
It was. Yeah,
Oh, that's-
$600 for both boys per week.
Wow.
I really liked her husband. They've been in the community for a long time. I really wanted to help her out.
And you
Especially
you
with
knew
the
her
accident.
husband. Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
And it was a good relationship
It was.
under some trying circumstances?
Yes.
Yes.
I was
Absolutely.
appreciative that she offered.
And so you have your 2 and she had your 2.
Yes.
So that's 4.
Right.
Right.
And no problems.
Right.
Right.
And then there becomes a problem.
Yes.
Yes.
I was approached by another neighbor whose daughter is the same age as my girls. They spend
your
a lot of
girls
time
know
together.
her daughter?
Yes, they spend a lot of time together. She's another neighbor, and
Also looking for summer?
for summer.
Isn't
And
it tough as being a parent and you're like,
Well,
when
and
they're
I-
in school during the school year, you're like, I got this rolling. And in the summer, you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do
well,
with
no, I
them?
love it. And a couple of years ago, when my husband was still here, he was an investment banker, so I didn't have to worry about money or whatever. And I just had the kids over for free. So I was appreciative that they were, offering.
You
to
were
pay
that
me.
house that all the kids would go to and have fun and hang out. So you said, well, if I want to do this and I can charge.
Ultimately, it became three moms. I had my 2 and 5 other children. And
Also, now how did we
yes,
jump to 7?
It was the first 2 weeks of summer.
Because you have her 2,
Right,
your
and
2,
the kid, I mean,
and then the daughter. That's 5. Where did the other
honestly,
2 come from?
with the summers in the past, it was really Kelly's kids that were the addition because the other children
Well,
were
I
around a
understand
lot.
her 2 boys, your 2
Right.
girls. Then the other woman had a daughter the same age as your 2.
And then 2 more boys the same age as her son.
2 more boys.
And I felt the need, especially, you know, hoping to be returning to my regular job in a couple of months, that I should look into what the laws were with regards to having that many kids. And
Because
in the
you
state.
had an issue with there being too many kids.
Yes, sir. $300 a week per kid is a lot of money. And, you know, for getting individualized attention, you know, $300, well, it's a little
it.
high, but, you know, I
Right.
get it. It's fine.
If it's more
But
one-on-one, but when those kids start exponentially growing.
absolutely.
Yes,
and I
yes.
didn't know about it.
Coming up on America's Court.
And she goes, oh, well, I started a little business babysitting. And I'm like, you can't do that. And when I told her, she basically just said, forget you.
And later,
That's not the same property as this.
Man,
There was no damage.
Hello?
That's,
That is not the same property.
listen, you tell my girlfriend that.
closed captioning provided by This is America's Court with Judge Ross. We're back with the case of Diane Cooper, who is suing Kelly Jones for breach of contract.
What happened is I went and found out in Missouri, if you have more than 2 unrelated children in your home, you have to go through the health department and get certified for daycare. So I started taking those steps.
Yes.
And coincidentally, Ms. Jones came in to pay me, which that never happened. She saw that there were 7 children running around, and I told her, you know, I'm going to make sure that everybody's taken care of and it's all legal, and she lost it. You can't do that under some
Your Honor,
Honor, that
that's
my
not
husband
exactly
signed.
what
And
happened. What happened was I actually went in to pay her for the month of July, and she opened the door, and there's 7 kids running around the place. I'm like, whoa, wait. You know,
I didn't get the memo.
I understood 4.
Right.
You know, what happened to the other 3?
that was the first day the other 2 boys were there, so
All right.
I hadn't really had a chance to talk to anyone about it yet.
And so?
And so I told her that, you know, what exactly is going on, and she goes, oh, well, I started a little business babysitting. And I'm like, you can't do that. I'm a neighborhood trustee. And when I told her, she basically just said, forget you. It doesn't apply to me. I didn't sign it. The point isn't that she didn't sign it.
That's
the
not
point
exactly how the
is
conversation
that
went. I didn't know what you were talking
applies to
about
her
at that time.
because she's in the house. She's
Right.
owned the house. She's benefited from the
And now
neighborhood indentures.
you've been transferred the ownership of the house because your husband's
Right,
deceased.
right. And honestly, I called my husband's attorney to see maybe I had signed that form, and apparently not. I don't know
Why
what papers I
$6,000?
signed. Well, Your Honor, this was not going to be a long-term profession. I was just for the summer, and I had $600 for daycare. I'd already provided for her that she never paid me for, and for the duration of the 2 months, it would have been another $5,400 from the other 2 moms, who I have letters from, who did not like the way she handled it. But
Well, what
felt
happened with the other
pressured.
2 moms?
She
I
called
made-
them that night and told them not to come back, and
You
they
knew the
did
moms.
not.
Yes, I know the moms.
And you
what
said,
I did was
don't come back because...
No, what I tried to do was handle the matter privately so that the gossip mill of the neighborhood would not take over. I called them up and I said, you know, we have a problem here. Ms. Cooper is running an illegal daycare. I tried
No,
to...
I was making it legal. I didn't know that I was in violation.
So Judy O'Brien was one of the moms.
Yes.
Ms. Jones called to say you weren't allowed to legally watch our kids because of some neighborhood indenture.
Right.
The last thing I want to be a part of is any uncomfortable circumstance that involves a contract. I think it's right what she did, and she should have handled it very differently. So this is what one of the moms saying. You
Yeah,
didn't
the
handle
next
it the
morning,
right
no
way,
one showed up.
but
That was just done.
she's right.
But
What do you have? Yes.
I have the neighborhood indenture, which says that you cannot run a small business within
Well,
the
you-
neighborhood without a special exception.
Right,
And if
which
she
I
had
knew
just
So
that.
Ms.
listened to
Bondo
me,
is saying the same thing. She thought the way you handled it was very unprofessional and the way she pressured us all to drop your services.
Yeah, the
You got a
next
great
morning,
thing
no
going,
kids
and she
showed up.
ruined it.
I didn't even know what was going on.
And
Why
I
didn't you
prefer
pay?
to handle it
But
higher.
you owe her $600 for services that she did render. Why not pay her that?
Because the $300 was built upon the notion that she would be basically private tutoring my kids over the summer.
So when you
Not
pulled
being-
your kids out, where did you send them?
I sent them to a regular daycare down
And how
the
much
road.
did you have to pay a week for them?
$150.
All right. So you still had to come out of pocket.
Yes, sir.
But you already received the benefit of her service, and you don't want to pay her. I understand not paying her beyond that, but what I really find unfortunate is that you cannot have enough compassion to at least pay her for the services she did render.
Your Honor, I don't feel that she rendered the services that I agreed to.
I don't think you're feeling, period. You don't feel. Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel must come down in favor of the defendant. You can't operate a business illegally and then expect it to be enforced by a court.
I understand. I just didn't
You
know.
have to come into court with clean hands.
I understand.
You understand?
Just wish she would have helped me go after the exemption. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what she was talking
I understand.
about. I could've
Best of luck
helped
to
them
you.
well.
Your
Thank
matter's
you.
dismissed.
Thank you so
Case
much.
closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is denied.
I'm sensitive to her situation, but she needs to follow the rules.
Well, next time I'll have to make sure I go through all the proper channels before I start something like this.
Coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
That's not the same property as this.
Man,
There was no damage.
Hello? That is not the same property.
listen, you tell my girlfriend that.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Tisha Blake is suing her neighbor Norman Thompson in the amount of $237.50. She says the defendant let the air out of her tires and she was forced to pay for a tow truck. Mr. Thompson claims the plaintiff blocked his car in his driveway and is countersuing for damage to his yard when he tried to get out.
So, Ms. Blake, you're suing Mr. Thompson for $237.50 because apparently Mr. Thompson here flattened your tires.
Yes,
And
he
Mr.
did.
Thompson, you're suing her because your flower beds were destroyed.
Correct.
And you guys are neighbors all over the Taste of Soul event in Los Angeles off of Crenshaw. So how do we get to this point? What happened with your tires, ma'am?
Well, he flattened my tires.
Did you flatten her tires?
Yeah, I
Yes.
flattened them. Yeah, I did.
All right. And why were you so in a tizzy, if you will?
What she did was, I came out of my house one day, and I have a narrow driveway, and I drive an SUV.
Okay.
So, and she knows this. And we never had a problem like this before, you know? So, it blew my mind when I came out my house, and my driveway's only was so wide. So,
Okay.
And I'm saying to myself, who is blocking my driveway?
Oh, she blocked
So
you
he
in.
claims.
Correct.
So he claims that I blocked his driveway. I did not block his driveway.
The-
Well,
Who did
did
it
you
then?
recognize her car?
Yeah, because I flattened her tires. Yeah, I sure did.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, because that's very mature. And when you were doing this, were you thinking, well, maybe I should go talk to her? Was there an emergency? Is there a reason why she's blocking my driveway?
Well, you know, I was so angry, so
Why were you
frustrated.
so angry?
Because, for one, in order to get around her car, this is my first house, by the way, so in
Okay.
order to get around her car, I ran over my girlfriend's flowers.
Your
So
girlfriend
now-
lives with you?
Right, correct.
Okay.
So now, I'm hearing this in the house all day long. I'm getting this heat. I'm not getting no loving. I mean, it's you know,
That's why he's angry.
I understand.
over some flowers. You know, over some flowers. You know
All
what I
right,
mean?
because you were trying to get out of your driveway,
Correct.
and what, the flowers were in close proximity to the driveway?
It caused me to
No,
go around her
they were
vehicle,
not.
and then I went into my lawn, and I ran over the flowers
Just to get out.
that my girlfriend had just recently planted.
Coming up on America's Court.
That's not the same property as this.
Man,
There was no damage.
Hello? That is not the same property.
listen, you tell my girlfriend that.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. We're back with the case of Tisha Blake, who is suing Norman Thompson for property damage. Mr. Thompson is countersuing for the same.
I told my sister, I called my sister and I told her to get here early. She was going to bring her girlfriend over and everything.
For what purpose?
For the event. For the Taste of Soul event.
Oh, they were going to park at your house.
Exactly. Yeah, and I had
so
them park.
Driveway was
right, I
completely
had
packed.
them park at my house, and then I said, "Don't, it's fine," because they came late. So that kind of messed things up for me.
And so you were going to work though.
Yeah, I was on my way to work, but I was going to come back and so that we can go to the Taste of Soul.
Well, then,
event. Yeah.
where were you going to park if that car was in the driveway?
My driveway.
I found a spot. I did find a spot. There was plenty. There was a lot of cars, but
Where
I still
was your
found
car in relation to his driveway?
It was not. It wasn't even that close. But he claims that it was too close.
Well, you know
to where
my
he,
driveway
where
was
he
so
lives.
wide.
So did you see the damage to the flower beds and the flowers?
No, there was no damage.
Yana, I have evidence right here.
Show me.
Can I see it all?
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And when you is it you're funny. Well, no. Let's take a look at the picture with the flowers, the
Look
pink
at that.
flowers. So this is what your girlfriend planted, and
That's the starting. Now, if we flip it, you'll see what the damage is.
All right. So if we flip it and go to the next picture, so okay. So what is what am I seeing here? What is that?
That's the tread marks from the tire for me trying to get around her vehicle, and I ran over the flowers. You see,
Okay, but
flowers used to be there.
That doesn't look like the same, even the same area. The concrete is much more smooth
because it's
here.
fine. That's because it's fine. There was no damage.
That's not the same property as this.
Man,
There was no damage.
Hello?
That's,
That is not the same property.
listen, you tell my girlfriend that, okay? Yana. I'm sorry.
there was no damage. The damage
you can
was
tell
he
flowers
flattened
used
my
to be there.
tires.
You see,
That's the damage.
Yana, I'm serious. Flowers used to be there.
Yeah,
You're
drink some water.
The damage is
Stop.
he flattened my tires. That's
This is not-
that's the
stop.
damage.
Those two pictures don't match up.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. You're watching America's Court with Judge Ross. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
It's not a lot to ask to say, would you not block my driveway? Was it juvenile? Yes. Was it immature? Yes. Could he have done it a better way? Absolutely. But you're at fault here. So, your claim, that's not going to happen. Not up in here. Not today. So your matter's dismissed. The $72.95 to replace the flowers, I'll give you that. So your judgment will be that amount. Your matter's dismissed. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff is ordered to pay $72.95.
I'm so excited about winning. Now I can plant some more flowers in my garden.
I really enjoyed the Taste of Soul, but my neighbor left a bad taste in my mouth.
Follow America's Court on Facebook and Twitter. This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.